In today's show, we're going to be recapping the Titans game and the Eagles game, but we're also going to be talking about what the heck we can actually take away from these last couple games of the year. The Packers are now 4-8, and there's a very unlikely chance we make the playoffs. We do have the Bears game today, so we also will be recapping that as well. But we need to talk about what we can actually take away, whether or not Jordan Love will play, whether or not Christian Watson can continue the absolute tear that he's been on, and also just what we can really take away from this terrible season that we've had so far. So let's get to it. Hello everyone and welcome to the Cheesehead Thread Podcast. This is a podcast for all Packers fans and this is episode number 5. How are we all doing? Packers are now 4-8. Wow. Imagine saying that coming to the end of the season. I cannot believe that this team is 4-8. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I had this team going 13-4. 13-4, and this team is just so underperformed. Now the Titans game, very disappointing. I had the game going 24-20. Obviously, that prediction was extremely wrong. We lost the game 27-17 at home, Thursday Night Football. Need to win this game in order to continue our run, hopefully, of making the playoffs, and now those hopes are pretty much dashed. As you may know, we now only have a 3% chance of making the playoffs. If I said that at the beginning of the year, that we would only have a 3% chance of making the playoffs, I guarantee every single one of you would have laughed at me. I would have laughed at myself as well. I thought we had a 100% guaranteed shot to make the playoffs. And looking back, I mean, there's just been a key couple moments that just haven't gone our way. In this game, Ryan Tannehill, his best game of the season, and the Titans' best offensive output of the season so far. 27 points. I said at the outro of my show, last episode, they can't score the football. Boy, was I wrong. They scored 27 points on us this game. Ryan Tannehill, 22 for 27, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception for 127.3 rating. You can't get much better than that. You just can't. I mean, that is phenomenal for Ryan Tannehill, who is not considered a very good quarterback in this league. That's what you want to see from your starter. Even Derrick Henry went 2 for 2 for 4 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry, who is a running back, threw a passing touchdown in this game. I mean, our defense cannot stop a thing right now. And you know how I was saying, all we need to do is stop the run, and we actually did that. Derrick Henry with 28 carries for 87 yards for a 3.1 average and a touchdown. That is really, really good for our run defense, who is historically bad every year. It just keeps getting worse, year after year after year. It does not go well. Dontrell Hilliard, 1 carry for 4 yards, and Ryan Tannehill, 3 carries, -3 yards. They averaged 32 carries, 88 yards, 2.8 average. That is terrible run game. But it didn't matter because they averaged 11 yards a catch in the passing game. Treylon Burks, his best game as a pro. One of the wide receivers that we really, really wanted going into the draft. 7 catches, 111 yards for 16 average and a 51-yard bomb to him. Just throwing that in our face. We really want this guy, and they always seem to do very well against the people that we want. Robert Woods, 6 catches, 69 yards. Nice. For 11.5 average. And a 32 yards. Derrick Henry, a 42-yard catch. He's a running back who never catches the ball. 2 catches, 45 yards. Austin Hooper, 2 touchdowns in this game. Someone that we really wanted when he was a free agent. And Oh, there's this one guy. He has like this very interesting name. I won't pronounce it, so I won't get butchered in the comments. But he had a catch for 31 yards. I mean, they killed us. They killed us in the passing game. And for someone that thought that our passing defense was going to be very, very stellar going into the year, a lot of people had our secondary as the best in the league. You have 3 quality corners in Eric Stokes, Rasul Douglas, and Jair Alexander, and then 2 very quality safeties, right? And Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos. And almost all of them have underperformed this year, and Eric Stokes is done for the year. We've had to have key performances from Keyshawn Nixon, Rudy Ford, to keep us in these games. They have played extremely well for being only signed to this team for special teams reasons. Keyshawn Nixon's our kick returner now. And he's really, 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 really good at it. He's phenomenal. Now let's talk about our offense and how less than stellar we did. Aaron Rodgers, 24 for 39, 227 yards, 5.8 average, which is awful, 2 touchdowns for a 94.7 rating. Aaron Rodgers' QBR is over 100 or around 99 every year, and I'm starting to think that it's going to be very, very low, like maybe in the low 90s, high 80s. Like he has not performed well at all this year. He's had career lows since his rookie season in like total passing yards, total passing touchdowns, a career highs in interceptions. He has not performed well this year. Obviously, the thumb has a lot to do with that, but wow, for someone that has just come off back-to-back MVPs, it's just shocking to see this. Aaron Jones, 12 carries, 40 yards. A.J. Dillon, 6 carries, 13 yards. You know how the Titans' run game was bad? Well, ours was pretty much on par with them. Both just really, really bad. Really bad run games. I mean, it's not what we thought was going to happen in this game, I bet. I mean, it's in Lambeau Field. It's a little snowy, and it's more passing for both teams, but the better passing game won out, and that was for the Titans. Randall Cobb came back in this game. He was very, 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 very good. 6 catches, 73 yards, and a 12.2 average. That's what you want to see for someone just coming back. Allen Lazard, 5 catches, 57 yards. Good. And, Bobby Tonyan, 2 catches, 19. Pretty good. But Christian Watson, once again, 4 catches for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this guy has now had 5 touchdowns in 2 games, going back to the Dallas Cowboys game. Christian Watson is him. For all the smoke that we said back in early on in the year, I criticized him myself. Everyone criticized him. We thought he was such a bad pick. He has proven why he was a 34th overall pick in this year's draft. He is a stud. He has more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson, who is a top 2 wide receiver in the National Football League. Justin Jefferson is him. He is phenomenal. And Christian Watson has more touchdowns than him. And he's got more touchdowns than other big names in this league. So the fact that we were able to do this, that he's been able to do this, just in the 3-game sample size, which I'll talk about in the next segment, is phenomenal. I mean, it's exactly what you want to see from your rookie. Now, Romeo Doubs has been hurt, but I think it'll be interesting to see if he plays today. Whether or not how well Watson and Doubs can play together. Because every single time it seems like they've been able to play together, one of them gets hurt early on. Multiple times you see Christian Watson out with a concussion early on in the game. Or Romeo Doubs against the Lions. Hurt ankle, and now he's out for like a month. That's just how it's just really how it's been happening. Looking at it defensive wise, Quay Walker in the in the Mike role with Devondre Campbell continuing to be out with that knee injury. 12 tackles, half a sack, 1 TFL. Chris Barnes, his first game really playing, 12 tackles, 5 solo, 1 sack. Preston Smith, 5 tackles and 1.5 sacks. That's really good. Rudy Ford, 4 tackles, 4 tackles. I mean, that's what you want to see from someone who's not even supposed to be really playing. Dean Lowry got a QB hit. Chris Barnes and Quay Walker with a QB hit. And let's see, Russell Douglas with the interception. So, nice to see him actually doing something. Just a less than stellar defensive performance. I mean, no one really playing their best. Defensive-wise for the Titans, Jeffrey Simmons gets a sack. 3 TFLs for David Long Jr., and a TFL for Jeffrey Simmons. Trey Avery with a TFL. I mean, they're just performing better than we are. And there's nothing that I can really say that will change that. I mean, it just feels like everywhere on this team, it's just someone's outperforming our team in some sort of category, and that's how we're losing these games. Crosby missed an extra point in this game too. But, Keyshawn Nixon, 5 kickoff returns, 108-yard average. 108 yards, 21.6 average. That's pretty good. So, he's the full-blown returner. So, just a rough game. But, sucks to say, we're now 4-7. So looks like the playoff hopes are dwindling down even more. So this past week, the Packers lost to the Eagles 40-33 in Philadelphia, and I'm actually very optimistic about this game. Here's what I would say. This is probably our best performance as a team other than the Cowboys game all year. And the fact that we came only 7 points away from defeating the best record in the entire league in the Philadelphia Eagles at 10-1. I'm very impressed, with how the offense played. Defense was once again very, very bad. I'll get into that in a second. But Jordan Love played in this game after Aaron Rodgers went out early in the third quarter with the oblique injury, and he performed he performed really well. Jordan Love 6 for 9, 113, 12.6 average, 1 touchdown to Christian Watson once again for a 146.8 rating. Now imagine we had him playing all game. Aaron Rodgers, 11 for 16, 140, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 95.8 rating. He has not had over 300 yards, I believe, all year. He has continued to underthrow balls. He has continued to overthrow balls. He has continued to not be accurate. And I apologize for that. Sorry. He just continues to not be a quality. He just continues to not be the same guy. I don't know where this is coming from because, like I said, I mean, this is the back-to-back MVP. Where did he go? Sometimes he looks like he's the most dominant player in the NFL. He makes this crazy throw to Aaron Jones for a touchdown, and then the next he's underthrowing insert random wide receiver. I mean, it doesn't matter. It just seems like every other throw he's underthrowing someone or overthrowing someone. It's like he doesn't understand his personnel or something. I don't understand. The run game was pretty solid in this game for us. A.J. Dillon had maybe his best game all year. 8 carries, 64 yards, 8 average, and a touchdown. Aaron Jones, 12 carries for 43 yards and a 3.6 average. You get 21 carries, 106 yards, 5.0 average. That's solid. That's what you ask for. That's what you ask from your run game. 5 yards a carry every time. Solid. Receiving wise, Aaron Jones, 3 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown. And Lazard, Dillon, Tanyan, Cobb, all around that 20 to 24 range, each around the 2 to 3 catch range. But Randall Cobb gets his touchdown after his second game back, looking pretty well. And Aaron Jones, like I said, gets that touchdown. But once again, for the third game in a row, Christian Watson, 4 catches, 110 yards, 27.5 average, 1 touchdown, a 63-yard touchdown catch. What more can I really say about the guy? He has turned into the most dominant player on offense. Full stop. Other than Aaron Jones, he has proven himself to be a mainstay on this team and someone who, if he continues this up, will definitely get a second contract in the Green Bay Packers franchise. Just, exactly what you want from your second-round pick that is touted to technically be a first-round pick. I mean, basically, up until 35 to 38, that's pretty much your first round, even though there's only 32 teams, in the league. It's like that's pretty much the first round, right? So just getting anywhere from 30 to 35, 38, that's technically a first-round talent. So to get him at 34, using both of our second-round picks that we, have from one of them being from the Devontae Adams trade, the fact that he's playing so well, awesome. Defensive-wise, it's getting pretty bad. I'm going to tell you these numbers. Prepare for them if you're a Packer fan. This is embarrassing. This is one of the worst rushing defensive performances I've ever seen in my entire life. And Joe Barry, you're on thin ice. You already are on thin ice, and you should be packing your bags, buddy. Because you cannot give up to the Philadelphia Eagles, the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts, who can run the ball and is effective at running the ball. Can throw the ball and run the ball. 49 carries. 49. 363 yards. 7.4 average. 3 touchdowns. That is embarrassing for any National Football team. Any team in the league. And that's embarrassing. Miles Sanders, who is not, nationally touted as being amazing, 21 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. What? Miles Sanders? I expect that from Jalen Hurts, 17 carries, 157 yards, 9.2 average. Kenneth Gainwell gets a touchdown. Boston Scott gets 8 yards a carry. What? That is embarrassing from a coaching standpoint, from a player production standpoint. And Matt LaFleur said it. 22 missed tackles. 22. What? As a defense, that cannot happen. I don't know how many times I've had to say that this year. It feels like I'm saying it every other second. What? It's mind-blowing how terrible this defense that came into the year with a lot of swagger. Now, obviously, I understand. No Devondre Campbell. No Rashawn Gary. No Eric Stokes. You have to bring in... I forgot his name. You literally have to bring in Justin Hollins from the LA Rams to replace an edge rusher because you have no depth. That is Brian Gutekunst's biggest problem this year. Depth. Depth. There is no depth. If one of our running backs goes down, we don't have a third running back on this roster. Patrick Taylor's on the practice squad. Safety. We have Devin Levitt and Rudy Ford. Rudy Ford's played great, but Devin Levitt is a full stop safety who is playing special teams. He's not a safety in this league. He's a special teamer. Cornerback. Keyshawn Nixon is playing key snaps because we don't have a third cornerback that can replace him. That can replace Eric Stokes. We don't have a fourth guy. Shamar John Charles is not ready yet. It's not working. Jaron Reed, our big free agent signing, has done barely anything this year. He said, he gets a half a sack this game, but looking at his, stats all year, 23 tackles, 1.5 sack. This is what he's been doing for you. This is what he's done. I mean, you look at his year on the Seahawks in 2018, 10.5 sacks. Where's that guy? That's the guy we need on our team. Where's even the 2020 guy? 6.5 sacks. Or even last year, 2.5 sacks. I mean, that's better than 1.5. I mean, where is anyone on this defense? I mean, Quay Walker, another good game as the Mike linebacker. He returns it almost. He almost got a touchdown, which, hey, nice job, buddy. You love to see it from your your linebacker. But Rudy Ford, once again, playing better than every safety on this team. When you have Adrian Amos, who's making a pretty hefty contract. I mean, I know that we pushed back some of that money, but I mean, looking at his contract here, he signed a 4-year, $36 million deal. He's supposed to be making $12 million this year. So, I just feel like I've been saying like the same thing. He's making a base salary of $7 million, and he gets a pregame $400,000 and a workout bonus of $500K. Where's the performance telling me, yes, you're worth that $7 million, Adrian Amos? You got 9 tackles today. Big deal. Doesn't seem to matter. I mean, Justin Hollins is playing better than your entire defense, and he just got here. 1 sack. More than anyone else on this team. Thank you, Justin. I'm sorry that the rest of the team can't perform for you. I mean, passing-wise, was not great. I mean, for the, passing defense was okay. 16 for 28, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns for Jalen, 96.3 rating. 4 catches each for Smith and Brown, 50 and 46 yards respectively, and Brown and Watkins get a touchdown. It's not bad. A.J. Brown lost that fumble, but doesn't matter when Reed Blankenship is getting an interception. Reed Blankenship got an interception in this game. And Josiah Scott, I don't know either of those players. I didn't know either of those players existed before this game. Now I'm very impressed with the some of the QB sneak stops. That's impressive. But, I mean, we showed some resiliency in this game. We showed that Jordan Love showed that he can throw the ball, and he made some very quality throws. He made one to the left hash, which is not an easy completion at all. That's really far away, and he was perfect right to Allen Lazard. I mean, fantastic. He has chemistry with his players. He has chemistry with this O-line. He's practicing every Wednesday. I'll get into whether or not I think he should start tonight or today. and what I think they should handle with him the rest of the year, because I'm like Peter Bukowski, and like I don't think Aaron Rodgers should be playing the rest of these games. You know, he can play some of them, but I don't think that it's best for this organization. I don't think it's best for this team that Jordan Love just sits the rest of the year. So let's talk about that. So, the Packers play the Bears this week. They have the bye week next week. And then we have 15, 16, 17, and 18. So there's 5 more games left. And Aaron Rodgers, he's got a rib injury or an oblique injury. He's got that thumb still. I think that he should be able to play this game. You win this game, okay, you're 5-8. You once again have to win out, but that 3% chance isn't phenomenal. And even if we were to make the playoffs, does it really benefit this team for the future? I don't know. Right now, you have the 9th overall pick in the draft. Top 10 pick? Okay. Cool. Or you make the playoffs, you get like the 17th or 18th pick. It's a way obviously things can change, but obviously it's for pedigree wise, it's a way worse player, and that one player that you could have got becomes into maybe an All-Pro Hall of Famer when the player you draft sucks. I think Jordan Love should start some of these games. I think Aaron Rodgers can play some of them. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers himself has stated that I understand that if I have to sit down because of the betterment of the franchise, because I have not been able to perform up to my standard and led this team to a good enough record, then yes, I have to sit down. I have to help out Jordan Love, and I have to do everything I can to get either prepared for next season, or sadly call it quits, which would really suck for us in the future. We cannot have that. I'm telling you guys, we want Aaron Rodgers on this team next year. I'm sorry, we do. Or trade him, but either way, it's a lot of dead cap, which is not good. Looking ahead to the Bears game, David Bakhtiari had his appendix removed. He could be out for the rest of the year. He could be out just for this week, but he's out this week. That we understand. So Zach Tom, another opportunity to look at a young stud in Zach Tom. He's played very well this year, and the times that he's had to play. Probably the line's going to be Tom Jenkins, Myers, Runyon, Yosh. Hopefully that's the whole line that'll be able to perform and help this team. But looking at the defensive side and the offensive side, injury-wise, Darnell Savage is doubtful. Fine with me. Micah Abernathy, who performed very well in the preseason, is going to be elevated to this game. Devondre Campbell, questionable. Possibly could be coming back from that knee injury. And Romeo Doubs, possibly back from that ankle injury that he suffered against the Lions. So maybe we get some more players back this week, but it's not looking great for the Bears side. Larry Broom, offensive tackle, out. Jaquan Brisker out. Justin Fields sucks for us, but he is able to play today. Kyler Gordon out with a concussion. Riley Reif and Kendall Vilder are both questionable. But Trevor Siemian is also out, so it's going to be Justin Fields with Tim Boyle and Nathan Peterman backing him up. Tim Boyle, Packers legend. Obviously, you should know that. Yeah, so we saw what happened last week with Jalen Hurts. Joe Barry, you can't tell me, oh, I didn't know he was gonna run. Oh, I didn't know Justin Fields was gonna run. Yes, you do. Other than this past week, he's literally averaged 30 plus fantasy points because of his rushing. He can run the ball. So Joe Barry, I better not see no press conference answers about, oh, I didn't know Justin Fields was going to run the ball. I didn't have a QB spy out there when I should have. No. Show me that right away. You had a good game plan against the Bears week 2. Now we're in Chicago. Replicate the same thing. Let's see it. I'm serious, man. Let's see it. But looking at this big picture-wise, do I think there's a shot we have the chance to make the playoffs this year? No, I do not. Do I think that we should have some of these rookies and some of these guys who can prove that they should be on this team next year, like Keyshawn Nixon, like Rudy Ford? Prove it and show that they can play against these, the Dolphins are a pretty tough team. The Rams are terrible and are definitely not making the playoffs. Matthew Stafford is just put on injured reserve. So, looking ahead, you could say, okay, we play the Bears this week, we win this game, we beat the Rams next week, after the bye week. Hey, we're 6-8, maybe we have a shot to make the playoffs now. Is that the best course of action, though, for the entire franchise, though? I don't know. I don't think so. I know these guys are competitors. I would never tell them not to compete. I would never tell them not to make money. I would never tell them, hey, why don't you drop this pass so we can lose this game? No. I would never tell them to do that. But for the betterment of the franchise long term, it might be best to say, hey, Jordan, we're going to give you these last 4 games. Aaron Rodgers, let's let you heal that thumb. Let's let you heal that oblique. If you can't complete this whole game today, which starts in about an hour and a half, man, why are you out there? You get the bye week, but man, just sit down. Jordan Love's got this. He was doing that against the Eagles, who have one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. And Darius Slay even said, Christian Watson was too fast. He literally had to held him on play and didn't get called, which is, of course not, because the refs don't see that. But it's time for Love to play. Obviously, you can have whatever opinion you have on that pick. I just ran into this guy at a tour. He said, I hated the Jordan Love pick. We should have drafted, T. Higgins or Michael Pittman Jr. Completely agree. I didn't understand it at the time, but hey, we got 2 MVP seasons from Aaron Rodgers because of it. So, does he have those 2 MVP seasons without that? I guess we'll never know. So, well, let's see what happens today. Sorry guys, it's just been a couple busy weeks. I got accepted into 2 colleges this past week, so that's kind of happy about that. But just been busy. Life gets in the way sometimes, but I'm trying to get some more consistency out there. Look for possibly an article to come out this week. So yeah, thank you guys for another great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go Pack Go. Score prediction wise, since Justin Fields is playing 31-24. Yeah, I think that's a good score prediction. So, well, all right, guys. Thank you so much for being a great audience. Comment any thoughts or Comment your thoughts on this episode. How you guys feel about this year so far. I expected to see a lot of negative comments. But yeah, sorry about that again. But thank you guys, and I'll catch you later.